before you give again, ask yourself, am I giving freely or am I giving out of pressure? So we've talked about the power of giving and how important it is to give, and that giving is the seed we're sowing to receive. However, I wanted to clarify how to give, because I got this so wrong in the past, and I really want to give you this universal law. So I found a quote in the Bible that I thought was so great. Now, the Bible doesn't teach universal law, but it does hint at it sometimes, which I think is great. But I do find that you have to kind of study universal law in order to spot it in the Bible. So for me, just reading the Bible doesn't teach me the universal laws, right? However, sometimes the Bible has these great quotes. Let me find it. Okay, here's what it says. Whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Now, what does that mean? So, what you sow sparingly, you'll also reap sparingly. If you give sparingly, you will also get back sparingly. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. If you put very little effort into something, you'll get very little back. So this goes for money, this goes for relationship, this goes for projects, this goes for just about everything. So unless you give a lot, you're not going to get a lot. Now, in terms of giving, it says each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give. It doesn't say in your mind, it says in your heart. Giving needs to come from the heart. So, because that's when it becomes such a pleasure. It's so satisfying to give when it comes from the heart. And that is the specific type of giving that God loves. And by God loves it, it means life loves it. You're gonna get so much back. When you act in accordance with God's will, you're gonna have flow in every area of life. Let's see. So the type of giving we should not be doing, that is not condoned by God, that is not blessed, the type of giving that you should stop doing is giving under pressure. So if someone pressures you to give, if someone is expectant of if someone feels entitled to something that you have, that's not a time to give. Then what you need to be doing is to say no. Okay, that's the most blessed thing to do when someone is expectant in the sense that they feel entitled, okay? And you feel pressured. If you feel pressured, if you feel like you're being guilt-tripped, if you feel like you don't want to, you should not give. If you feel reluctant in any way, do not give. You give when you feel in your heart that you feel called to give. It's like an intuitive, oh, that's my alarm. You give when you feel that sense of like, oh, I'd love to contribute. I'd love to give. I'd love to do something. That's when you give. That's going to be blessed. Also, this doesn't say in the Bible, well, not in that part, and maybe it says somewhere else, but you should never, when you give, and you give from the heart, you should never seek to get anything back from it, except for the good feeling that you get in the giving, okay? The giving is the pleasure in and of itself, okay? If you give with an expectation to get something back, then whatever you get back is the only thing you're going to get back. You're not going to get the blessings from God. And by blessings from God, I mean blessings coming back from other sources in other ways, because whatever you give comes back multiplied. So if you get it, whatever you give, God will give you multiplied through blessings in different areas of life. But if you give expecting something in return, either from that person, or let's say you give something and then you post it on social media and like, look at how happy this person became when I gave them this. If you do it with the intention of getting likes, of getting people's approval, of getting whatever, ego satisfaction, if you do it for that purpose, then that is the only blessing you're going to get, and you're not going to get the multiplied return. So if you just do it freely from your heart, that's when you're going to get a true return. Now, if you feel that you don't have a lot to give in terms of money, giving does not have to be monetary. In fact, giving doesn't have to even be in action. You can sincerely intend good things for other people. You can sincerely intend to give to another, and the means to do that will come to you. You will still be blessed with a sincere intention. However, the sincere intention is quite rare, because a lot of people don't realize that whatever we think in our hearts is actually just as real as anything that we're doing. So a lot of people might, how do I put this? So we think that our negative intention towards someone else, unless we act on it, we don't think it's gonna come back to bite us in the butt, but it does come back to bite us in the behind, right? And in the same way, if you intend to give to someone else, like if you visualize and get into the feeling of really contributing to the people around you, to giving to your community, to giving to the entire world, to giving to maybe your mother, your children, whatever you intend, and you get into the feeling of doing that and get into the pleasure of, oh, wouldn't it be so great if I could do this? And you just visualize yourself giving. That will also give you returns. So you don't actually have to have the means. You imagining things is also real. And in the same way that is real is if you look at someone and think, and you feel sorry for them, and you see them as, lacking in some way, that is also real. So you need to never sort of envision in your mind that other people are lacking in some kind of way. Okay, because you don't know the blessings, you don't know the full story. You need to not see them as disconnected from the goodness of life. I digress, but I hope I made the point very clear, how to give, because a lot of people don't know the value of giving, and when they do give, they're like, well, I'm not getting the benefits. Like I was saying, I wasn't getting the benefits because I was giving sometimes out of compulsion or feeling of guilt, or I gave from a place of lack. I didn't give joyfully. I didn't give from like my own initiative. I didn't give according to what I had decided. I gave when I felt like I had to, or it was necessary, or someone else needed my help. And that's not the place to be. You should never give because you feel like somebody else needs it from you specifically, okay? It needs to come from a joyful place. It needs to come on your own initiative, okay? That way it will be blessed for you and for the receiver. So you might think, now a lot of people get this really wrong, and I used to as well. You think that, well, if someone is in need and I give reluctantly, even if I give reluctantly, at least it will help them, right? But it won't, because that will not be blessed money. When you give from a joyful heart, that money will be blessed, or money, or whatever you give, right? It could be love, it could be resources, it could be food, it could be whatever it is. So the money that you give reluctantly won't be blessed, okay? The value of it will go down for that person and for you, okay? So never give when you feel like when you feel bad. Never give from a place of feeling bad. Whether you feel bad for someone else, or feel bad for yourself, or you feel like you don't have enough, or you feel like they don't have enough, that's not the place to be. Just give when you feel like I can contribute. Okay, now a reminder, the masterclass, Limitless, it's for anybody who is ready to change some patterns in your life. If you have patterns in your life that are from birth or generational, or you've had it for a long time, let's say you had a trauma that really messed things up in terms of how you view yourself, how you view a certain area of life, it just set a pattern that you just struggle to escape from, then this is for you. It could also be anything from, for me it was attachment styles. It could be just about anything. Whatever you find that you're struggling with in life and you've tried to change it and you couldn't change, and now you're ready to do something different, or you've been struggling in an area of life and you'd rather be thriving in that area of life, and you feel like, well, that's impossible because those things don't happen for people like me, or, because of this curse in my life, I can't do this or that. Then this masterclass is for you, because we get to sit down together. You'll have a workbook that helps you implement everything that you learn, that you get to work with your own subconscious mind and look at what's going on in your subconscious mind. I'll give you the tools to go from whatever pattern that you have, however negative it is, into exactly what you would truly want, what you would rather want. And I show you the tools to use with your subconscious mind to create that reality. Any pattern can be changed, but only if you know exactly what to do, because if you don't know exactly what to do, it's impossible. It is set. It's your autopilot. And it's going to run and run and run until you give it new instructions. And because it's subconscious, most of the times we don't even know what's going on. Like 95% of what we're doing is just on autopilot. And we don't even realize it's on autopilot because we're not consciously aware of it, right? So this is really your chance to make a huge difference. I am so eager to help you. This has done so much for my life on so many levels, to change patterns that were dysfunctional, that were negative, that were taking away from my joy of life year after year after year. So if you find that you're declining in some area of life, if you feel like you're unsatisfactory in some area of life. Now, I've talked a lot about money before because that's a really important thing. If you don't have money, you want to get that money part fixed, right? Because it's just necessary to survive. But there's so many other areas, like our family relationships, our romantic relationships, our marriages, our children, our, self-image. So many areas of life that we have set habits at, that we have tried to change, that we haven't managed to change. So let me help you. I cannot explain enough how these tools can make a difference for you. And I want you to take yourself seriously and see how you can turn something that has been problematic or difficult into something that is actually great. You really deserve to thrive. You deserve to have a good life. I can't wait to help you. I love these masterclasses because I get to see the change happening in real time. I get to see the before and the after. I get to see the fire in someone's heart after a masterclass and seeing that they have the tools to really change their lives. People go from feeling powerless to feeling empowered. And I want that for you. There are tools to do this. I want you to learn them, and not only learn them because this is not just going to be information. We're going to actively apply them, because knowledge in and of itself is useless unless you apply it. And information is freely available. But we do need help to apply it. And that's what I want to do for you. But you need to also want that for yourself. You need to want more for yourself. You need to feel like you deserve a good life and not just a survival day to day. You need to know that you're worthy. I think you're worthy. I'm willing to put my effort into helping you with this. But you have to know that you are worthy and that it's possible. So, sign up to Limitless. I will give my all to support you and to implement this and to see what we're working with and teach you how to change. Teach you how to create a lasting change. Change these patterns for life and for generations. Once you've changed a pattern, you've changed it for generations. And once you've learned it for yourself, you can teach your children. This is so powerful knowledge. So sign up, you'll get the workbook, you'll have a community that supports you, and we'll be live, and I'll answer any questions that you have, and it's going to be empowering. Okay, bye.